Hey guys, it's Jasmine again. Today's video is gonna be kind of out there because I'm gonna be reading a Wattpad fanfiction of Michael Jackson. Okay, let's get started. This one is just called Michael Jackson, just like straight up. And it's made by BTS Fangirl 2002. And there's 61 parts to this. Okay, we're just gonna read the first part, which is called Hiking. Who like fantasizes about Michael Jackson hiking? And then, okay, at the beginning it says, in parentheses, Thriller era. So I'm guessing this is like he looks like this, like him during his Thriller era, I guess. Michael decided that it would be a great day to go hiking. He got dressed all warm and cozy with a large coat and a lot of layers and long sleeves and cozy pants. Michael got on his mittens, his scarf, and his fluffy trapper hat before walking out his bedroom. "I'm ready!" he yelled, looking around for his girlfriend while smiling. Okay, we need to make up a name for his girlfriend because I'm not inserting my name in there. Let's call her Diana. Diana walked into the hallway, and when she saw Michael, she giggled. "What's so funny?" He whined. "Come here," she smiled, and he followed and moved swiftly in front of Diana. You know what, I'm gonna change her name to Billie Jean. In front of Billie Jean so she could help him. She pulled off his scarf and took his hat off along with his mittens. "That's better," she said, patting down his coat like he was a child as he laughed. What do you think he would laugh like? Like hee hee hee? Or like hee hee hee? "Let's go hiking," he screamed excitedly, pulling Billie Jean out of the house and to the car where he would be driving to the mountains. Alright, most of this is literally just them doing like normal stuff, like literally stopping and like drinking water. Like what? I'm trying to see something, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, here's where it gets like kind of heated. Michael glanced at Billie Jean a few times when she wasn't looking, and about an hour passed, and they decided to take a rest on one of the large rocks nearby. They both sat down and pulled out their water bottles and took a large drink, draining about half the water bottle. Michael lied back, leaning against the rock, sighing until he had an idea. He smiled and bit his lip before standing up and climbing on the top of the rock. "Michael, what are you doing?" Billie Jean yelled, concerned, standing up as well, and looked up at him as he stood on top of the rock and pulled his arms out into the air. "I'm the king of the world!" he yelled out, and it echoed as he smiled wildly. "You goofball," Billie Jean said playfully as she climbed up the rock as well and stood in front of him. She wrapped his arms around his torso as he wrapped his around her back, pulling her into his chest, causing them to tumble down into the grass with both of them screaming very girlish screams. Not just Billie Jean, also Michael Jackson screaming a very girlish scream. And that is literally the end. Well, I'm gonna read another like part of this 61 part story. And this other part is called He Hits You. There's like a little disclaimer at the beginning and it says, "Before you say, no, Michael would do no such thing. This is fan fiction, and he will apologize and regret it. Okay. You were currently backstage looking through the curtain as Michael and Diana had a conversation. You always liked Diana, and you thought she was a lot prettier than yourself. No wonder Michael's always flirting with her. You called it no big deal until he called her sexy. You became furious and you wanted to yell so much, but you began to cry with hurt and anger. You ran off to the car and waited for Michael to come out because you knew the driver wouldn't leave until Michael was out. After about 45 minutes, you ended up falling asleep. You woke up to the feeling of soft cushions beneath you. You sat up realizing that you were home. Michael was not laying in bed next to you. You decided to get up and go look for him. You exit your room and walk around the hotel room and made your way to the living room. You found him sitting on the sofa, staring into nothingness. You made your way over to him and curled up next to him, resting your head on his chest. It says YN, but again, I'm going to use the name Billie Jean. "Billie Jean," he said. "Yes, Michael?" you said, curiously lifting your head up to meet Michael's eyes, looking down on you. Why did you leave the performance so early? He asked you. You couldn't tell him you were jealous, so you made up a lie. I was tired, so I went out to the car to get some sleep, you lied. It was only 6, he said, and you opened your mouth, but nothing came out. It's just a simple question, Billie Jean, he said, slightly louder than needed. Fine, I was jealous. Okay. Jealous? Why were you so jealous? He asked you, standing up so you were now looking up at him. I see you were getting all comfortable and flirty with Diana out there, you said sarcastically as he let out a laugh of annoyance and began pacing around while rubbing his face until stopping in front of you. You're getting the wrong idea. Diana is just a childhood crush I had. You know I only have feeling, not feelings, but feeling for you, he yelled as his face flamed up. You called her sexy, for crying out loud, you yell, and you feel a sharp sting against your left cheek. Which cheeks are you talking about? You gasped, surprised, and stared into his angered eyes. They immediately softened as you got up and ran to the room. But he ran after you and tackled you to the ground. You kicked and screamed, please, please don't hurt me. You screamed as you began to cry. He pulled you up and began hugging you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Please, Billie Jean. Forgive me. It will never happen again. I love you. He sobbed and you couldn't help. But you forgive him. You knew he would never do such a thing. Girl, he just tackled you to the ground. He was the most sweetest person you knew. And you knew that becoming his father... Oh, yeah, because Michael Jackson was, like, abused as a kid or something. You knew that becoming his father would hurt him badly. I forgive you, Michael. It's okay, you said, looking into his tear-stricken eyes. Why is he crying? He tackled me to the ground. Looking into his tear-stricken eyes before smiling softly and pecking his lips. He smiled and blushed before hugging you tightly. I'm sorry, I love you so much, he said, petting your hair. Then Billie Jean says, it's okay, I love you too, smiling and closing her eyes, savoring the moment. I'm sorry, but the one where he tackled you to the ground got me. If his skinny ass tried that, I would beat him up. Alright, this last chapter is called He's Sick. And this is the photo for reference. He's like lying down. He doesn't look too good. You recently awoken. And the weird thing was that you awoke before Michael. You could hear his heavy breathing as he was wrapped up in his blankets. You saw him sweating, so you lowered his blanket down to his waist. But he pulled the blanket back up. You placed a hand over his forehead and he was burning up. Bro, literally, like the rest of this chapter is literally them like lying together and like saying I love you. While like putting emphasis on how sick Michael Jackson is. Like physically. That was it. I think I should get off my phone for the day because I'm done. I cannot believe y'all Wattpad creators really fantasize about Michael Jackson. Nah, man, let the man rest, okay? That was the video. I'm out.